Hello and welcome to Exquisite You. My name is Dhrumil, and in this podcast series, I bring you some amazing doctors every week who have achieved so much in their life. This story is very different. This story could actually turn into a Bollywood movie, but it ended up in medicine. With me, I've got the MD FRCOG from the Royal College of OBGY UK, Dr. Rishma Pai, and she's also a consulting gynaec at various hospitals in Mumbai like the Leelavati, Hinduja, Jaslok and many more. Let's unfold her life journey. Let's welcome Dr. Rishma.
Thank you.
How are you, ma'am?
Very well, thank you. Pleasure to be chatting with you today.
Ma'am, you come from such a different background. You're the first doctor from your family?
Kind of, yeah, little different background, more like a Bollywood or Hindi film industry background. And so which is what, but somehow the other, right from the beginning, I knew that this is what I wanted to do. So though there were many distractions along the path and many options for even venturing into the movies, if you will, but I never took any of them seriously at all. So for me, it was single-minded dedication towards getting into medical school and pursuing that.
But that was the difficult part because going into movies would have been a little easier. Considering there was a background, it was homegrown.
I'm not sure because having seen the entire, like my sister, Poonam Dhillon, came into movies just by chance, right? She was literally invited to enter the movies. We used to live in Chandigarh, small town, very quiet, lovely life. And she was Miss India and she was on the cover of a magazine. And so she was actually spotted by Yash Chopra. And he actually sent a team to Chandigarh to, sort of invite her, if you will, to come into the movies. That doesn't normally happen. It's quite a struggle even to get into Hindi film industry. So she came in very, very easily and did her first movie, Trishul and Noori, and somehow got established into Bollywood. But after that, I've seen it's not an easy industry, just like no other field is easy. Every field is hard. All of us know that even after 10 years of studying to be a gynecologist, you can sit in your clinic and there's not a single patient there. Nobody comes to you. It takes years and years of effort and patience and waiting and seniority, and then people start coming to you. So it takes years to build up a practice. So nothing is easy really, and even doctors, some become successful, some just do, medium, regular days work. So just like in the movies, so it's nothing is easy. I feel it's all about hard work, dedication, and serious commitment to what you want to do.
Wow. That's a beautiful lesson. How was your college like? Did you bunk your classes? Did you have your secret things that happen in college remains in college?
Yeah. No, actually, I used to be, my family used to almost ridicule me because I was such a sincere girl right from the beginning. Like even I remember when I was really a small child, before the school bus would come and pick me up, even before that in the morning I would be studying. When I was very little, I didn't need to be studying. So I was that kind of a person. I've always remained like that, very, very, very particular. If I have to submit some homework, it will be done well in advance. Everything will be proper, So the family used to laugh at me that it's okay, like just chill in life, you don't have to be so dedicated or so sincere, but some people are like that's a personality type. But for me it was really hard because like I said, I came from a girls' school, a convent school in Chandigarh. Upbringing was very different in Chandigarh. Girls' school, very disciplined, very proper, and we were not exposed to anything, So I studied in Kamal Convent in Chandigarh for many, many years. And then by that time, my sister had come into the movies. So from 11th grade, we moved to Mumbai. I had never been to Mumbai before. I joined whatever the best college in Mumbai that time, Jai Hind. And suddenly, it was a co-ed college. And I had never studied with boys in the college. And they almost many of them spoke Marathi. I didn't know a single word of Marathi. And then, so when I was in junior college, not a single person of my, friend circle was told that I was the sister of Poonam Dhillon. I just wanted to not have that known because I wanted to establish my own identity because I was, suddenly I was a new person. Nobody knew me in Bombay, not a single person. So it was an opportunity for me to show everybody myself as an individual. So that is how during the entire junior college, nobody knew my connections with anything or anybody. I actually took Marathi tuitions. I had a teacher coming home teaching me Marathi because you can't survive without knowing any Marathi. And so it was quite difficult for me, to manage. to suddenly travel by train, and the Bombay trains, how they are, was terrible. I had never done that in my life. So it was a really, let's just say, difficult transition for me. And then, of course, I put all my heart and soul into it. And it was quite, in the house, in the living room, there would be the photo shoot going on. There'd be all these cameras and lights and makeup people and hairdresser sitting outside, directors coming and, having story sittings. And I would be sitting in my bedroom, door locked, studying. So it was quite a, unusual sort of situation, if you will. And my sister would go for shoots to all these fantastic places and, exotic locations. And I would almost never have the time to go with her because I would be studying for my exams. So that is how it was. But I somehow, I don't know, now I look back and I wonder how I didn't get distracted. But I didn't. And I actually topped my college in the 12th grade and got into medical school, GS Medical in KEM, which is the best college in Mumbai, and entered into medical school. And then again, the moment I went for my interview, because I was on the top of the list, I saw a big red circle around my name because the Rishma Dhillon, the surname was unusual in Mumbai. Not many people have Dhillon surname. And somehow they had connected that I was Puran's sister. So I was red circled and chosen by the people to be the center of ragging. So the moment I got admission into medical school, all the seniors were, zeroing in on me to rag me. They thought maybe I'll be this really, I don't know, stuck up or very arrogant or something, I don't know what. And they thought they'll put me into place, by ragging me. But, none of that happened. They were very sweet. They would make me sing songs from Noori, and they would make me do acting. That was my ragging. So it was a pleasant ragging, uncomfortable, but it was okay. And so I was so scared, in that medical school. I used to always take the side exit and go by far away, this thing, not go in the main corridor, because all the seniors would catch me and would rag me. But then all of them became good friends, and, it was wonderful. Medical school is lovely because you spend 10 years of your life there and make lots of friends, and that's where I met my future husband. That's what happens in medical school, 10 years, you meet somebody and you connect, and that's how it was. So, yeah, it was a good, wonderful 10 years of my life. We look back very fondly. Those friends are my friends for life, that sort of a thing. Very hard, but I just loved it. I enjoyed it, so very, very happy years to look back upon.
And how did you meet your partner there? Were you classmates, senior, juniors? How did the romance brew and turn into this beautiful marriage?
Yeah, in fact, we are married a long time now. Actually, I was a student. So in medical school, it's like when you're a student, you go to the departments, like I was in MBBS, and you go to surgery, you go to gynecology, you go to medicine, you work there for a few months under the, sort of training of the seniors. So when we went to do our obstetric gynac term, Rishikesh was already a senior in gynecology, so he's 5 years senior to me. So I was a student, not knowing anything, and he was the senior. And then you go there, you work with the seniors, and they're teaching you and everything, and then somehow or the other, for him it was like, from day one, he says he knew I was the one, and which was very strange because I was too young and obviously not thinking of anything. I was just a student at that time. But he told his entire unit, his boss, he told everybody that this is the girl for me, including his boss. So the boss and he and everybody then aligned to make sure that I would be always, sitting next to him if we had a thing. If he went out for a unit party, I would be with him wherever, everything. But they were trying to all put me together with him. He set it up. And then he told all his friends, like if we had a get together in the college, or if you're going out somewhere, that girl, nobody's going to talk to her, nobody's going to think that's my girl. So it was all sort of set by him. Bhabhi hai wo sabki. Yeah. So that's how it went. And he was, I just found him to be a very, very, the thing which appealed to me, that he was such an honest person. And when I say that, like everybody will immediately agree because people who know him now, Dr. Rishma Pai, he's now the current president of our Gynec Federation of India. Everybody knows him to be crazily honest. Like what you see is what you get. There is nothing hidden about him. He's brutally honest. And so I found that very refreshing because in today's times, people were not that straightforward, not that honest. They tend to, just create a little false feeling and pretend to be somebody else, which they are not actually. And he comes from a very illustrious family. His father was a Padma Shri, doctors, very educated, very open-minded, and so it was very appealing to me to have this very refreshing, broad-minded, intelligent family very supportive of me right from the beginning, because sometimes the family is not very supportive of their son's girlfriend, but they were very, very supportive of me right from day one. And, so it was just very nice. And, I got married when I was really young in my internship, because he was already MD gynecologist by then. And I did all my post-graduation after getting married. He was like, I don't care, just get married, then you can do whatever you want, you pursue whatever you want. So that's what happened. And I think I'm so grateful for that, because it was so, it was so nice from then onwards, because both of us being gynecologists, we could sort of travel together, do, all the, for example, if you're going for a conference abroad or in India, or we are traveling, or we are studying, or we are training, it was all like, each one could understand what the demands were, we could do things together. And both of us somehow got into the leadership program of our Gynaec Federation.
And that's also very rare, because I think you're the only or one of the two.
Yeah, one of the two.
One of the two,
yeah. Where both of us have been president of the Gynaec Federation of India. Not only that, the first time it happened that he was Secretary General of Foxy and I was president. That combination has never happened. And then I went on to become president of IVF Society of India, ESAR, then the Endoscopy Society of India, that is IAG, and the Mumbai Gynaec Society president as well. So it's been a long couple of years of being in leadership roles, and Rishikesh has gone through that same journey earlier. So it's been very, very interesting, and it's been a huge support to have somebody who's, sort of aware, who knows, who can help. So each one of us has a very individual personality. We do things our way, but at least there's an understanding, which I think is very important. Yeah.
How amazing. See, you've been to so many forums, you have led so many organizations. You've been part of policy making, but you also made sure to have fun. When you were the president during your curriculum, you said conferences are fine, science is fine. Let's add some fun. Let's not make it boring.
Yes.
So where did that come from, and how was that taken by the fellows?
Yeah, I think that's very, very important, because up until the time that I became the Foxy president in 2017, Foxy was just academics, and which is very good, because that's our primary goal, really. So we would have many events, meetings, conferences, lectures, all of that. And then, when I came in, I said, we need to make it more broad. We need to make wholesome individuals, not just, studious academicians, but people who have multi-talent. And it's a fact, because gynecologists are basically, or doctors, basically are very hardworking, intelligent people. And they are, capable of a lot. That's why they are where they are. And so I introduced many different things in that year. For example, Foxy has talent. So this was a new concept, and we did it on a very large scale all across the country. We did sort of sub selections and preliminaries and then finals, and a lot of talent came out, and that's singers, dancers, and people were shocked that our gynecologists of all age groups, from 25, 30 till 70, 75, there were doctors who were singing, who were performing, and it was amazing. And they were so thrilled, because they got a big stage to perform on. And we had this whole thing, and we selected 10 from each zone, and then we narrowed it down. And then the people who actually won the talent contest, they actually have gone on now to become chairpersons of Foxy or vice president of Foxy. And they are like, we really got recognition only because people got to know us, because we went through all these talent and everything. And now it has become popular. Every year, every president is doing this talent show. Also did a lot of other things. We made a lot of, we did a program called Nari Swasthya Pahal. Again, for the first time, we conducted free camps throughout the country. We screened thousands of women free for hemoglobin, cancer screenings, health checkups, and things like that, which again, that kind of social work had not happened before. We made, a new song for Foxy. We made videos, So like a little different turn from the whole thing. We did lots of different competitions. When I was ESAR president, I introduced the ESAR Personality of the Year contest. So this was, again, it was not about beauty. As doctors are not into like beauty, but everybody wants to be the best version of themselves. That's what it was about. So I said somebody who's academically good. Of course, that was part of the criteria. You know, you've spoken at conferences, you've written books, articles. That was part of it. But the rest of it was how you present yourself, how you talk on stage, how you walk on stage, how you dress, what is your confidence. And that was amazing. And we got different judges. We got judges from different streams. You know, we didn't just take Gynaecs as judges. So, you know, and that was, so we selected a personality of the year contest. So it was just bringing out a lot of different aspects to a person's personality, because I've always believed that it's, you know, everybody can do, you know, once you're trained, you can do your practice. That's fine. But it's all about building a wholesome individual. And I realize how important that is, because my daughter is an engineer. She went to MIT in Boston for engineering.
And that was for undergraduation.
Undergraduation.
Which is very rare.
Very, very rare. It's the best university in the world for many, many years in a row. Never come to number 2. It's always number 1. And I saw there that, you know, everybody who even applies to MIT obviously is very brilliant and topper in their class or university or whatever. And that is fine. You know, there are lots of very bright children. But what they want is your overall personality. What have you done in your you know, pursuit of you know, coming to that stage? Academics, it's not just that you've come first in every exam. That is important. But whether you've done any social work, whether you've shown interest in something. You could be a chess player, you could be a public speaker, and whether you've you know, they have essays, and the essays are nothing to do with academics. It's not like you are a brilliant mathematician. It's essays about what is your concept in life, how will you change, if you're in this situation, what will you do. So it's completely different. And I saw how it was so important to have that well-rounded personality. And I read some of her essays, my daughter's, when she applied. It was so different and unique and imaginative, you know. So I thought all that is so important for the development of a person. You know, it's not just your, you know, you're studying day to night and passing some academics by, you know, rote learning. That's really not important at all. So I really believe in complete, full, well-rounded education for people, and taking time off from academics to do 10 other things. So that's how I have conducted most of my leadership roles, and I think people have enjoyed it, and it's a little bit changed the track on which Foxy used to work.
Which is amazing. You seem like a power family. Your father-in-law was a Padma Shri awardee. You, your husband, both have been Foxy presidents, leader at so many different levels. Your daughter's in MIT, your son's a gold medalist in his gynecology. How are your dinner table discussions like? What all do you discuss? Because everybody's an overachiever, and rightly.
Actually, I don't even know about the overachiever bit. It just, you know, you just keep working, and things happen to you as you go along. So, but yes, I think you know, people ask me, you know, you've been so busy all your life. How have your children or your son or your daughter, how have you managed to bring them up that, you know, they are achievers or they've done well for themselves? And I'm like, you can't tell your children that. You can't tell your children, study hard, come first. You can't tell your children that. You just have to lead by example. And they see us even today at this age. You see me, if I'm in the house, I'm either on my computer preparing a lecture, or I'm reading up something, or some, you know, update has come and my husband's reading the journals. So it's not somebody at gunpoint telling us to do it. It's something we love to do, we're passionate about. So it's all about loving what you do, pursuing what you're passionate about. So it's not like my daughter became a doctor. It was not her interest. Her interest was to go into computer science and computer engineering. That's what she's doing. So it's all about, in fact, when my son decided to pursue medicine, I was very clear that it should not be because we are doctors. It should be something that made him go through all those, you know, tests and those screenings and all those personality tests to make sure that he's right for the field. That's what he wants to do. So you don't want to pressurize your children to take up a profession which is not, you know, their choice or their passion or something they love. So I think that's, and you know, like if you've met Rishikesh, he's also a very, very extremely passionate person. It could be politics, it could be, you know, and he's emotional about it, and very, very, like we could see a movie and then he'd be all charged up about it, and you know, he's crying and he's laughing. So it's like getting completely involved with what you do. And so I think most of the conversations are around, you know, the current happenings, what we're doing, how we're going to do. So it's really not about telling them. I've never told my children that you have to come first. In fact, it's a record. I have never asked my children after the exams. I always tell them work hard, but after the exam, I've never asked them what rank you got, who's got more marks than you, who's never. That is not the part, because once they've worked hard, then it's done. Then, you know, whether somebody's got 5 marks more than you or you've come third or first, it doesn't matter at all. So in fact, I have to sometimes tell them, relax, go to sleep, itna padhai mat karo, that kind of a thing. So I think it's all about leading by example.
Absolutely. You said your husband's extremely expressive when you watch his movies, and everything. Now tell me, when you watch movies and when, you watch medicine in the movies, do you laugh at it sometimes? कि कोई सो रहा है ऐसे और heart कहीं से उड़ के सीधा उनके body में आ जाता है and somebody, every time a doctor comes out and says हम माँ बच्चे दोनों में से किसी एक को ही बचा सकते हैं. So,
yeah.
So much of wrong things that movies have also portrayed over the years. Do you laugh at it? Do you feel I wish I could correct this?
Yeah. I understand cinematic license and a little bit you can, let go. Ek bhai se blood is going directly into the other bhai, direct transfusion of blood. So, a little bit is okay, but sometimes it's gross, it's like, oh my God. How can, and, you don't mind as long as it's done with fun or in a sort of light moment. But sometimes they're really giving a very wrong message. And sometimes they're running down doctors, or they are showing doctors as corrupt or very negative, and that doesn't go down well with us at all. So I think if you see overall, if you see every profession may have a person or two who's not doing the right thing, but typically if you see as a profession, I think doctors have really devoted their life to their profession. They work very hard. They do a lot of charity. They help a lot of people who are needing that help. So I think overall it is still a very noble profession. Doctors are good. So I don't accept people who show doctors in a negative light, but a little bit cinematic license, you laugh it off.
How amazing. What's the legacy that you want to leave behind? I'm sure there are so many achievements. There's so much of work that you have done, so many lives that you have impacted, so much of compassion you've got in your heart. What's a legacy that you wish to leave behind?
I think our little legacy will always live on. We are blessed as a gynecologist. All those beautiful babies that we've delivered over the years, they will always, and their parents will always remember you. I may forget the patient, somebody I've delivered many years ago, and it's just beautiful. Nothing can sort of compensate for that. I'll tell you, recently a couple of years ago when I joined Hinduja Hospital, it was a new hospital, when I joined it, I entered the lobby and one girl in her, workwear, black jacket, pants, official looking, came and touched my feet. That was the first time I had entered the hospital. I was, who's this girl? I don't even know, some girl, working in the front desk of the hospital. And I'm like, hi, I'm Dr. Pai. She's saying, madam, you have delivered me. I remember you and, I'm so grateful. And I was so shocked because, I had come into a hospital, I didn't know anybody there, and this girl comes and literally touches my feet. And that's such a beautiful thing wherever you go. Wherever, literally, I walk into a party, I'll meet 5 people who will be, oh, this is my dog, this is my this. Do you know this one delivered my baby? We walk into an airport, you'll meet 5 people there. You go to a restaurant, there'll be somebody coming, my baby, can we take a picture? People come to my clinic, they'll bring recently, in fact, earlier this week, I had one patient of mine who had difficulty becoming pregnant, some 17, 18 years ago from Oman. And that lady came into my clinic. She didn't have any problem. She came to India with her children. She wanted them to meet me because she couldn't have a baby. We had done IVF on her. She had twins. So those twins, now grown up, maybe 10, 12 years old or whatever, she'd got everybody. So nice burqa clad, Arab lady with her little children with the nice little topi and, the typical. And they all came and all they wanted was to have photographs with me for memory for their children. And they were so happy. And each of the child got me a small little gift, something, some flower vase, something. And they gave it to me and took a picture. And, so this is what matters. After 10, 12 years, they still were looking forward to meeting me, taking pictures with me, putting it in their baby's album. And, so I think that never goes away. That will always remain. And that is our blessing, which us as gynecologists and obstetricians have got, that our patients never forget us. So I think that's the legacy we leave behind. In the leadership, of course, as Foxy president, like I said, each president comes and contributes in a positive way, does the best that they can, tries to leave behind a mark. And I think that to be able to make a contribution in some way to these huge organizations, ESAR, Foxy, IAG, Mumbai Gynaec Society, it's a 70-year-old organization. To be able to contribute, to lead that organization is itself such a privilege. So I think I'm very, very blessed. Yeah.
Yes, you are, and thank you so very much. I'm sure there is a lot more to talk. We can have another episode of discussing your life, your journey. but whatever we've known, it's been such a pleasure, ma'am. Thank you so much for talking to us.
Thank you. Pleasure, really. Thank you.